By a round of applause, how many fathers do we have in the audience tonight? I love being a father. I have two daughters, ages 15 and 17, and they are 2 of 15 million. I love helping them with their homework. I love helping them with minor snags they have throughout their lives. And my favorite, they think they know everything. You run into that sometimes as a father, but what warms my heart is when I give them a piece of advice and they actually tell it to somebody else like they really came up with it all by themselves. It really warms my heart to realize that I'm effective under these present circumstances. Too many examples fall short of who or what a man should be within our urban communities. My name is Wilfredo Laracuente, and the title of my talk is A Good Role Model of Just What Not to Do. The time has come within our urban communities to instill a new culture. And the culture is exposing young men to the importance and the responsibility of fatherhood at an early age. Now, I mentioned earlier about my daughters being 2 of 15 million. Well, according to LifeSiteNews.com, 1/3 of American children in America, 15 million children, are being raised without fathers. 15 million children are not being exposed to the importance of fatherhood. 15 million children have a void that they're searching to fill because of a father who isn't there. Why? Was it pride? Why was the primary reason I defected early? Incarceration, a lack of accountability, a lack of responsibility, fear of the unknown. Because whether right, wrong, or indifferent, young men are constantly watching. They're gravitating and emulating whatever male role models or figures that are inside our urban communities. And what happens is they begin to emulate the man, a pimp, a drug dealer, a hustler, a stick-up kid, instead of emulating a man, a truck driver, a garbage man, a postal worker, a lawyer, a doctor. What happens is they begin to glorify the rewards and the accolades instead of realizing the hard work and the effort that it comes to obtain these goals. For example, you have the sports athlete and the music artist. What happens is you see the jewels, you see the cars, you see all these things, but you don't realize the hours and hours that they took to hone their craft and to obtain these goals with the work ethic that they obtain. So what we have to do is show the young adults and instill work ethic inside our urban communities so that they become men who defect early from their family structure. We have to give them proper pace. We have to show them a performance after a critical error. And the critical error is not correcting the behavior that make the poor choice because they're young. Poor choices will occur. And they're looking for proper role models and they're searching for identity because they really don't know who they are. So as they're constantly searching for this identity, you have to instill them an importance that it's okay to make mistakes, but you have to make sure that there's no critical error after this. Now we have to begin to lace it all together and expose them to fatherhood at an early age. My father was a good role model of just what not to do. When I was 6 years old, he left. And for a long time, I thought it was me. Why didn't he love me enough to stay? Why didn't he love me enough to stay with me and my mother? And then when I was 8 years old, my mother remarried. And I said to myself, someone's going to eat the big piece of fried chicken, someone's going to drink all the Kool-Aid, and someone's going to hog the remote control. My life was in shambles at that time. He turned out pretty good. Gave me an allowance, checked my homework from time to time. He was good to my mom. I never saw him drink. And he came home on time, never stayed out too late. And when I was 15 years old, he told me, I want you to wear a condom because I don't want you to be a father yet, but I want you to remember the way I treated you and the way that I treated your mom. So as I prepared for the birth of both my daughters, a glorious hour, I wanted to make sure I didn't turn into my worst nightmare, my father. It's important that they realize that fatherhood is something that is a title that's earned and that's not bestowed upon anyone. So exposure to fatherhood at an early age is important. There's a small iota in the grand scheme of things, and that thing is questions. The silliest question is the question that's never asked. You have to provide a forum and let them know that it's okay to ask. You have to encourage this. Regardless of whether you live the projects in the Bronx, you will succeed. Regardless of the fact you live in the projects in Bedford-Stuyvesant, you will succeed. You have to implement this form of success because outside the family structure, there's a lot of people that are going to tell them that they won't succeed under the current conditions that they live in. If you nurture this part of it and you're able to have the encouragement and the self-esteem reinforced, there's an onus on education. So we don't breathe life into stereotypes that proper speaking is not allowed within our urban communities. And we don't breathe life into these stereotypes that all we want to do is commit crime within our urban communities. So you need to provide the open venue, and it's okay to ask. Solutions. Everybody can tell a truckload of problems, but is anybody willing to take action and provide a solution? There are a lot of fathers that represent fractions of success stories within our urban communities. The fathers of the incarcerated, the fathers of postal workers, the fathers of garbage men, the fathers of teachers, of lawyers, of doctors. And through action and mentorship and teaching them proper etiquette and the roles that they have within our urban communities, these fractions can fuse together and they can provide a template of a great example for the young men within our communities. Because the time is now. Inaction is the reason why we're under this present state of condition. By going through these fractions, you can provide within our communities better men, in which in turn will create better fathers. But I just want to leave you with this. There are two types of people within all of us. There is a hero and there is a villain. The one who wins is who you breathe life into the most. My name is Wilfredo Laracuente. Thank you for your time.